Good morning, students. Today I am going to explain a prose lesson for the second language English medium students. The title of the lesson is There is a girl by the railway track. There is a girl by the railway track. The main characters in the story, one is Roma Teja, then Baleshwar Mishra, next is brother, then fiance, truck driver, and medical director. We can see all these characters in this story. First we can say Roma Teja. Who is Roma Teja? Roma Teja has been working in a call center as an executive for the last 2 years. Next, Baleshwar Mishra. Roma Teja, she is a BCom graduate. Next, Baleshwar Mishra is an high school dropout. He is from Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh. He came to Bombay in search of a job. So next one we can see brother, fiance, truck. Their role is only a minor role. So I am not explaining about them. So we can see what happened in this story. One day, this Roma Teja, after her work, boarded in an electric train in the ladies' compartment in a suburban electric train in Bombay. We know that when a train is arriving in Bombay, there will be heavy rush to boarding. Some are getting down and others are trying to board in the train because it is a very crowded station. It is a daily process, or it is a common sight which we can say regularly. So one day this Roma Teja boarded in the ladies' compartment in an electric suburban train in Bombay. There was no place to stand. There was heavy rush there. She tried to get a space in that train. At that time, a sudden or a heavy rush was happened. She was already pushed down, and after that, she lost her this 10 years hold. She lost her. She did not catch properly. That's 10 years hold. She lost 10 years hold. That is 10 years means very soft or delicate. Immediately she was fallen. So as a thud or a sound was heard, she fell down from that train. So nobody took care of her. The train left. At that time, another man, this Baleshwar Mishra, I told you, he came to Bombay in search of a job. He is a high school dropout. He is staying with his brother. So he was coming by another train. So we can see, you see this train. This is a train here. This is another train. So our Roma Teja boarded this train. Then he is coming. This Baleshwar Mishra was coming by this train. So he saw a girl was sprawling or lying near that railway track. Others also saw it. Even though all others saw it, nobody volunteered. They did not do anything. Nobody volunteered to do any help. So immediately after seeing that sight, this Baleshwar Mishra, I told you, is an SSLC dropout, 20 years old man, and so he immediately jumped up. He jumped from the train. Before that, what he did, he tried to pull that chain, emergency chain. So when the train was slowly moving, he suddenly jumped. He was not helped by others. Others did not do any help. It is a common sight in Bombay. Because whenever there is an accident, the others won't do any help because they will feel some fear that in the future they will become the victims. So that is a common sight which is happening in Bombay. Whenever there is a accident or some other things, nobody will come, nobody will help. It is a common feature because they will feel fear that in future they will have to face some dangers. They will have to appear for court. So by fearing the future consequences, nobody came forward to help this lady Roma. But this Baleshwar Mishra immediately jumped from the train and she just sprinted or she ran fast for a few kilometers to find out this lady Roma Teja. At that time, bleeding was there. She was unconscious. So she pricked that girl and she tried to cross that railway cross. So after that, he reached to the road, main road. Then he tried or he implored or he requested to get some help of some others. Many motorists, he saw many motorists. He requested to give help, but nobody minds. Nobody did not mind. So lastly, a truck driver, a middle-aged Gujarati middle-aged truck driver stopped his tempo truck and he was ready to give some help. So Baleshwar placed Roma Teja in the rear of that truck, and after that, at that time another policeman also came there. The policeman suggested that it is better to go to Airoli and It is a very famous hospital. But Baleshwar did not agree because he understood, he told that Airoli hospital is 10 kilometers away from that place, so firstly you had to get some first aid. So he did not agree with that police. So they went to nearby hospital. In that hospital, there were no specialties there, but the first aid, they got the first aid treatment was given. After that, they went to another multi-speciality hospital. In that hospital, director of hospital was Anil Agarwal. The name of that director is Anil Agarwal. He gave proper care. Moreover, X-ray was taken. But even though there was injury in the head, it was not a major injury. So he suggested that nothing to worry. He has made some stitch or switches. He made some stitch, and after that he told that no need to worry. But before that, while they were going to, after getting that first aid, this Roma Teja opened her eyes. She opened her eyes. At that time, Baleshwar inquired about the phone number of her brother. So he got the phone number. Immediately, he called her brother, and after that, they went to that multi-speciality hospital. She was admitted. I told you that the director of that hospital was Dr. Agarwal. He gave a proper treatment. The truck driver has already left after reaching there. The truck driver left after getting admission. But Baleshwar called the brother of that Roma. So after an hour, within a few hours, brother came and he got, moreover, brother came with a fiance. That means person who is going to marry this Roma. Brother and her fiance also came there. So at that time, gradually, after a few hours, this Roma Teja got conscious. She became conscious. At that time, she saw all the persons were gathered there. So she understood everything. She told, only because of this Baleshwar Mishra, I got my life. Otherwise, I would have lost my life. So Baleshwar told that in Bombay, the conditions very pitiable because nobody will come forward to give help to others by fearing that they will be responsible, or they will have to go to legal, they will have to go in the court. So by fearing that thing, nobody is coming forward to give help. That is the story of this. There is a girl by the railway track. I am reading this book. Again I will explain, you should listen. As the Mumbai suburban electric train made its 22nd 6:32 p.m. halt at the station, commuters swarmed out and into its 12 packed coaches. It is a regular scene in and around India's most populated metropolis. As the Mumbai suburban electric train made its 22nd 6:32 p.m. halt at the station, commuters swarmed out and into its 12 packed coaches. Commuters swarmed out. What is the meaning of this commuters? Commuters meaning daily movement of people from one place to another. Daily movement. That means a person is going to do his job. After doing his work, he will come back in the evening. Daily movement, going and coming. That is called as commuter. So many commuters, you can see many commuters, they are going for job. So it is a regular scene in the Bombay railway station that large number of commuters will go there. So it is very crowded there. So this train reached at 6:32 p.m. in that suburban electric train. Out of that main city, suburban electric train reached at 6:32 p.m. It was halted. Commuters swarmed out. They gathered, swarmed out. And in this 12 packed, there were 12 coaches there, 12 compartments in that train, electric train, there were 12 compartments. It is a regular scene in and around India's most populated metropolis. This is not only the case of this Bombay. Most of the metropolis, we can see, metropolis means the place where more than millions of people are residing is called metropolitan city. Large number of people are living. Very busy city is called as metropolis. Minimum more than million people should be there. Having just managed to squeeze herself into a ladies' compartment, 21-year-old call theatre executive Roma tried to settle in the corner near the door. So this call center executive, she got in that train. There was no place to stand there. One way or other, she stood in the corner of that train. The train hurtled. That means it moved. The train hurtled ahead, and Roma jumped between other women, was trying to find some space to stand safely on when it suddenly got pushed, lost her 10 years foothold and panicked. So what happened? There was a sudden push. In that push, she was completely thrown out. She was fallen. Her hands reached for the steel railing above. By finding only air, Roma was thrown out of the coach. The clattering roar of the train muffled the thud of her fall onto the ground more than a meter below. She was knocked senseless. The clattering roar of the train. The clattering sound. That means some kind of rattling sound, we can say. That is called clattering sound. Clattering sound means some kind of rattling sound, because we know that when a train is moving, that sound we know. Some kind of rattling sound we can hear. So it's a big sound. So due to that sound, the other sound became very small, or the falling sound of that Roma was very small, because others could not hear the falling sound of that Roma because of the rattling sound of that train. When the train was moving, you can see a huge sound. So it became silent, other sound. Her hands reached for the stealing above, but were finding only air. Roma was thrown out of coach. The clattering roar of the train muffled the thud of her fall. Thud means sound, big sound is called thud. Muffled, that means it became silent. It made silent. The clattering sound made other sound silent. That is called. Standing near the door of another train speeding in the opposite direction. At that time, another train was coming in the opposite direction. You can see the two trains. In one train, Roma. Another train, you can see that Baleshwar was coming by this train. Roma was in this train, you can see. Standing near the door of another train speeding in the opposite direction. 20-year-old Baleshwar could not believe what he had just seen. A young woman in a black salwar kameez lying next to the track. Meanwhile, gasps and screams emanated from his compartment. There's a girl by the tracks, the voice cried. So 20-year-old Baleshwar was coming by another train in the opposite direction. So they saw, most of the passengers saw a lady was already lying near that track, but nobody volunteered to help that lady. Impulsively, that means without thinking, without thinking. Impulsively, Baleshwar went and grabbed the train's red emergency chain and pulled it down frantically. We know that whenever there is an accident or whenever there is a danger is happening, what we will do? Immediately we can pull that red chain, emergency chain. Without any reason, we cannot pull that chain. But if there is a genuine reason, we have right or we can pull that emergency train. In the same way, this Baleshwar saw that girl was going to die. So he pulled that emergency train. So the train began to halt slowly. So when the train was moving slowly, this man, Baleshwar, jumped out. The train screeched, slowing down. He then surveyed the compartment full of weary faces. Let us go and help her, he shouted, but nobody volunteered, afraid of getting involved, of being inconvenienced perhaps. Baleshwar asked others, there is a girl lying. One of you, please come. We can help them. We can jump out and we can help them. But nobody came forward by anticipating future fear. His heart hammering his chest, Baleshwar shoved himself to the door and jumped off the still moving train. As he landed on the ground, a burst of pain shot up in his ankle, but there was no real damage. He got up to find part of his old rubber slipper sole torn off as a result of his fall. But Baleshwar started to sprint back between the tracks as his train picked up speed again and disappeared. We know that if a person is falling, jumping from the train, definitely he will also feel some kind of injury. In the same way, Baleshwar, when Baleshwar tried to jump, or when Baleshwar jumped from the train, he also felt some kind of minor injury. His chappals or slip completely, it was torn. Moreover, a slight pain was happened in his ankle, but he did not mind it because his intention was to save that lady, that dying girl. So he sprinted or he ran fast for a few meters to save that lady, to find out that lady. Baleshwar shoved himself to the door and jumped off the still moving train. The train was moving slowly. As he landed on the ground, a burst of pain shot up in his ankle, but there was no real damage. He got up to find part of his old rubber slipper was all torn off as a result of his fall. But Baleshwar started to sprint back between the tracks as his train picked up speed again and disappeared. After that, again the train started speedily. Firstly, it became very slow. After that, again it began fast. It tried to go fastly. Baleshwar could see blood flowing out of gash behind the young woman's head. So that gash, he saw that blood was flowing from a gash. Gash means a deep wound. Deep cut wound is called the gash. He saw blood was flowing, there was bleeding. Baleshwar could see blood flowing out of a gash behind the young woman's head. Saying a silent prayer, he lifted the 5'2", 5 kilo Roma gingerly and made his way across the tracks, looking out for trains and searching for a way out. He crossed through some shrubbery and followed a direction of the sounds until he found the road. My sister is injured. He implored motorists who drove by, please help me take her to a hospital, but no one stopped. Baleshwar picked up that lady and he crossed that railway track, then reached the road. At that time he saw many motorists, but he requested, my sister is injured, so you please help. But nobody did care or nobody cared. That morning on December 10, 2010, a Friday, Roma Talreja arrived at the call center bright and early. The BCom graduate from Pune had been working there for 2 years, loving her job, talking and connecting to customers and making new friends there. After work, she went to the cafeteria where she and her friends joked, laughed and made plans for the weekend. Then heading home alone after her shift, Roma was looking forward to having a supper with her parents and brother and a long phone chat with her fiancé Vijay. Her fiance's name is Vijay. That means that person is going to marry this Roma. So on that day, what happened? That morning on December 10th, it was happened on 10th December 2010. It was a Friday. Roma Talreja arrived at the call center bright and early. She reached her call center early morning. She was very cheerful on that day. The BCom graduate from Pune had been working there for 2 years, loving her job. She has been working in that call center for the last 2 years. She loved that job. She was very cheerful always, talking and connecting to customers and making new friends there. She made so many friends. She was always very talkative, or she was very friendly with the customers also. Where she and her friends joked, laughed and made plans for the weekend. They made a plan. At the weekend, they made some plan for entertainment. Then heading home alone after her shift, Roma was looking forward to having supper with her parents and brother and a long phone chat with her fiancé Vijay. So after her way, she decided to go. Baleshwar Mishra has a very different story. The lanky youngster, that means he was a tall man. This Baleshwar Mishra was very tall. Youngster from Mirzapur, UP, is an unemployed high school dropout who recently came to Mumbai, living with his 2 older brothers. His job hunt had proved fruitless. Now he was treading water and had resigned himself to the fact that he was running out of options. He had spent his day with a friend, grabbed lunch and watched a movie. As Baleshwar boarded the train home, he pondered over his future, but all he could now think of was saving a stranger's life. He came from Mirzapur in UP, Baleshwar. He is a high school dropout. He came to Bombay in search of a job. He stayed with his brother. Innumerable motorists drove by some evening, slowing down to see the young man struggling to hold the blood-covered woman in his arm. Just when he had begun to lose hope, a tempo truck pulled over and its driver, a middle-aged man who spoke Gujarati, stepped out. So he picked up this girl and reached the road. He implored or he requested many motorists to save the life of this lady, but nobody cared. But innumerable motorists, that means large number of motorists, drove by, some even slowing down to see the young man struggling. But some motorists, while they were going, they made it slow. They drove in a slow manner. They saw this sight, even then they did not mind, they did not give their help. Struggling to hold the blood-covered woman in his arms, just when he had begun to lose hope, a tempo truck pulled over and its driver, a middle-aged man who spoke Gujarati, stepped out. So lastly, a tempo truck driver, he was a Gujarati, a middle-aged person, he came, he stopped his tempo truck to give help. A middle-aged man who spoke Gujarati stepped out, he came out. Help me, Baleshwar pleaded or requested, and the man helped Baleshwar lay Roma down in the back of his truck. Baleshwar was quickly telling the driver what had happened when a traffic police arrived. Take the girl to Airoli, suggested the cop. That means police. There is a hospital there, but Baleshwar disagreed. Airoli was at least 10 kilometers away. Help me, Baleshwar pleaded. Baleshwar requested. And the man helped Baleshwar lay Roma down in the back of his truck. So Baleshwar placed Roma in the rear or back side of that tempo. Baleshwar was quickly telling the driver what had happened when a traffic policeman arrived. Take the girl to Airoli. Police told that it is better to go to Airoli. But Baleshwar did not agree because it was far away from that place. Because some type of the girl, or I mean the lady, should be given immediate attention, or first aid should be given to the lady. So Baleshwar did not go to Airoli since it was very far away. It was 10 kilometers away from that place. There is a hospital there, but Baleshwar disagreed. Airoli was at least 10 kilometers away. There is a closer place I know of, said Baleshwar. 10 minutes later, they arrived at a small hospital there. Nurses helped take the young woman in, but as the facility lacked personnel and equipment, the on-duty physician was not able to do more than give basic first aid. He advised that she be moved to a nearby hospital. So Baleshwar reached to a nearby hospital. From there, they gave only first aid treatment only. After that, they told, you please go to some other hospital because here facilities are very rare, or there is no proper facility here. Baleshwar and the driver had no choice but to move her back into the truck. When the vehicle lurched forward, Roma stared and her eyes fluttered upward. So Baleshwar and driver had no choice but to move her back into the truck. So again, they just went to another hospital. At that time, the lady opened her eyes. Roma stared and her eyes fluttered upward, opened silently. She was unconscious, but for a few minutes, she fluttered her eyes, or she opened her eyes. What is her name? Asked Baleshwar. Who was with her in the back of the truck? What is her name? Asked Baleshwar. Baleshwar asked, you please tell me your name. What is your name? Who was with her in the back of the truck? Roma. She managed to grind out. She said silently, Roma is my name. Whom can I call? He asked quickly, fearing that she would black out once more. She immediately, Baleshwar wanted to get the phone number of his relatives. So he told, you please give me any phone number. Because Baleshwar understood that again she will become unconscious, or blackout means unconscious. So she inquired, or she asked, you please give me any phone number which is helpful for me. My brother Dinesh, she said. She told the name of my brother Dinesh. Slowly giving him Dinesh's cell phone number. Baleshwar memorized it and watched as Roma's eyes soon lost focus and rolled back into the darkness. Baleshwar remembered the phone number of Dinesh, or her brother. Within a few minutes, again she became unconscious. Chacha, can I borrow your mobile? Baleshwar asked, and the driver passed him his phone. Baleshwar requested the driver, Gujarati driver, to give his phone. So the driver gave his phone to Baleshwar. Dinesh Talreja was wrapping up his day at his marketing job at a retail outlet in Ullasnagar when his phone rang from a number he did not recognize. So this Dinesh was doing some work in Ullasnagar. Firstly, he could not identify that number, that sound, that ringing sound, or when the phone rang, he could not identify. Dinesh Bhai, a young voice asked, "Your sister Roma has fallen off a train and we are taking her to Divine Hospital in Gansoli." So immediately suddenly he told that, "Dinesh Bhai, your sister has been hospitalized." A young voice, "Your sister Roma has fallen off a train and we are taking her to Divine Hospital." So this Baleshwar told that your sister has been hospitalized due to a train accident. So you come immediately. Roma arrived at Divine Multi-Speciality Hospital at a research center minutes later. Dr. Anil Agarwal, the medical director there, seeing the extent of Roma's injuries, admitted her immediately to the ICU without any paperwork. Intensive care unit, ICU. We know that when we are going, or when a patient is, when we want to admit a patient in the hospital, there are certain formalities which they should follow. We had to give our address, we had to give other many things we had to do. Money we should pay, all other things we should give them. We should give all our details. But this Dr. Agarwal, or director, understood the seriousness of this lady. So without fulfilling any formality, he gave admission to this lady. He asked the Baleshwar to hang around until Roma's family arrived. That's when they noticed that the driver, having done all he could, had slipped away with his truck. "Oh, I could not thank him," Baleshwar thought. He asked the Baleshwar to hang around until Roma's family arrived. So the truck driver told that, "I had to go to my place, so you please keep here, you please stand here till her brother comes here." Roma was still unconscious, but her x-rays showed that although the injuries looked severe, all she needed were deep wound sutures. Sutures means stitches, sutures. There would be no lasting damage, but Dr. Agarwal believes she could have bled to death had nobody helped her. When she finally opened her eyes that night, her brother and fiancé were by her side. She could barely speak, just nodded and fell asleep again. Roma was still unconscious. Again, Roma was not conscious, but her X-ray, Dr. Agarwal, I told you, they have taken the X-ray of this Roma. So they understood that this injury was not severe or serious. So 2 stitches or sutures were made. Sutures means stitches. They had done 2 stitches because there was bleeding there. There would be no lasting damage, but Dr. Agarwal believes she could have bled to death had nobody helped her. But when she finally opened her eyes that night, her brother and fiancé by her side, she could barely speak, just nodded and fell asleep again. So after a few minutes, after a few hours, she opened her eyes, she became conscious. At that time, she saw that her brother and fiancé were standing near her, or they were in the hospital. Again, she slept, she began to sleep, or she slept. When Baleshwar came to meet her in the next morning, Roma was still partly sedated, but means half awakened is sedation. Not fully awakened, half awakened is called sedated. On his way, Baleshwar had even revisited the spot where Roma had fallen, looking for her belongings, because Dinesh had told him that her cell phone and handbag were missing. Not far from this spot, a railway employee assured Baleshwar that some of the Roma's belongings had been found. When Baleshwar came to meet her next morning, Roma was still partly sedated. On his way, Baleshwar had even revisited the spot. So the next day on the next day, Baleshwar came there. At that time, she was not fully conscious. She again wanted to go to that old place where the incident was taken place because she wanted to take her belongings because her brother told that she was having a cell phone. She was having a cell phone and a handbag. They were missed. So in order to find out her belongings, Baleshwar went there again, went that spot again. Not far from the spot, a railway employee assured Baleshwar that some of the Rama's belongings had been found. So a railway employee had collected all her belongings and he gave all that belongings to Baleshwar. How are you feeling? Baleshwar asked Rama. I am okay. Rama whispered. Rama told in a low voice. Baleshwar asked, how you are now? Are you well? In a few days, Rama made a full recovery. I can't imagine what would have happened if Baleshwar had not been there. She says, amazed, to learn of the manner in which she had been rescued. She was surprised. She became fully conscious. She is completely recovered. Then at that time, she was surprised how she got her life. I think it is astonishing that a stranger would jump off a train and risk his life for me. I can never repay Baleshwar. She told Baleshwar, only because of you I got my life. How can I repay? How can I repay you what I can give you? Because you have sacrificed a lot, otherwise I would have died. I am new to Bombay, but I had noticed that people here are afraid. People here are afraid, says Baleshwar, who is still looking for a job. They fear getting trapped in the courts or with the police. So why did he do it? She needed help. Baleshwar puts it simply. That day it was Roma. Tomorrow it could be you or me by the tracks, bleeding and alone. So this lady showed or expressed the gratitude to Baleshwar. Baleshwar told that I am completely surprised because nobody will come for rescue or no person in Bombay will help others by fearing that they will have to face some difficulties in future. That is why they are not coming forward to help others. Yesterday or today it is happening to one person, or next day it will happen to some other person. So in the case of Bombay, nobody will come forward to give help or to rescue. That is the condition of that Bombay. So this lesson is finished. Next, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will clarify again within 3 or 4 days, or after finishing the other 2 lessons. I will give you notes. So today I have finished it. On the next day, we can start a poem. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to give likes and subscribe. Thank you again.